I don't know what Sarah Sanders is supposed to say, but I want to get to the nitty-gritty of this and the legal of this in a minute. But again, this is the CEO of the Trump Organization who said he was going to run the government like a business. What business school teaches you that if you're the CEO and now 6 people, 5 of whom are actually pretty close to you, in the case of Michael Cohen and Roger Stone, very, very close to you, are under indictment. What is it? There's been no direct criminal allegations against the president in this Roger Stone. In the Michael Cohen thing, they allege that he was aware of a campaign finance violation. In another Michael Cohen filing, they allege that he lied about the extent of the Trump Tower, the timeline of the Trump Tower in Moscow. What is it about the president that he wants, likes, or needs? Known. Go on the internet, any search engine, and put in Paul Manafort and Roger Stone in particular, and you will find that they are swamp creature snakes. What is it about the president who wants, needs, likes people like this around him?
The irony of all of this is if this actually were a business, it's almost impossible to imagine that the CEO would survive in this kind of situation where you have so many people who have run into so many legal problems. Trump, obviously, before he came into the White House, surrounded himself with some pretty shady characters. That was no secret. I think what has been surprising is that so many of those people followed him into the White House, but there is no way to disassociate him from these figures. Doesn't mean that he necessarily has done anything illegal here, but all of these people are in this position because they, in one way or another, worked for Donald Trump. They were in his orbit, they were in his campaign, and there is simply no way to separate him from all of these people.
And to that point, you spent months covering this campaign. The idea, and this is not a criticism, this is actually in some ways a compliment. Donald Trump is known as kind of a gossip in the sense that he wants to know. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to know what's going on. He's asking all the time. A lot of politicians are. Again, I don't say that part is a criticism at all. They want to know, what's going on in the campaign. This idea that if you read the Stone indictment, that he was in touch with senior officials, plural, in the campaign, that once he told them about this, they were asking him what's next to come. Sarah Sanders wants us to create a universe in which the candidate himself knew nothing about this. Is that plausible?
Sure, it's plausible that the candidate knew nothing about this, but we also know that Donald Trump was talking to Roger Stone throughout the campaign. I mean, they disagree about sort of the frequency and the timing of those contacts, and Roger Stone has insisted up and down and all over the place that they never discussed WikiLeaks, but they were in communication. And so it's not outside of the realm of possibility that Donald Trump and Roger Stone had a conversation about this, or that Donald Trump said to someone else on staff, go talk to Roger and figure out if he knows what's going on with this WikiLeaks stuff, if he has any idea what's coming next, purely based on the fact that Roger was out there publicly during 2016, saying that he had an in with Julian Assange, saying he knew what WikiLeaks was about to do. And so if Donald Trump was looking at Twitter or watching television, as he is wont to do, he may have said to someone, can you please figure out what's going on there and what's about to come? This indictment doesn't offer proof of that, but it's a possibility.
Right, but I think what the indictment does offer is a view of the trend that's going on here. So initially, the Trump's position campaign was nothing to do, not even contact with anyone. Now, contact, obviously. Now, substantive in terms of exchanges of information between Manafort and his contacts. And in this indictment, what we see is the campaign was interested in getting that information. Right. So maybe it doesn't say collusion, cooperation, but they clearly wanted to get there.
And this, I think, also gives us, shows us a pattern. And you can see why investigators and sort of the FBI, their kind of antennas go up. Everyone they have tried to question about Russia, WikiLeaks, the Congress has tried to question people about people have lied. Right. What is going on here? And what you're seeing is this pattern, really. And we've seen this in an indictment in the charges against Michael Cohen from the Southern District. There was a sort of a fraud going on here in that the truth about what was going on in the campaign could have politically hurt the president. Right. And everyone around him did whatever they could, lie, commit crimes to try and protect him. And that is what you're seeing in a pattern of all of these indictments, whether it's Mueller or whether it's the Southern District of New York for the payments.
And so then help me with this theory of the case. If you assume that Bob Mueller is a traditionalist and he accepts the Justice Department guidelines that you don't indict a sitting president, then if you look at the compilation so far, he treats harshly anybody he believes has lied to him about the substance of his investigation in these court documents. Well, the president has lied repeatedly about the hush money payments, about the timeline, if you believe Michael Cohen anyway, of Trump Tower, other things he has said in public. So then what do we assume that Robert Mueller leaves that for a report for the political? Then here's my report. Now it's up to Congress, the Justice Department, to decide what to do with it.
Well, it could be, but remember, there are those written answers that he
Right.
gave. And he may have done his best to be careful with those, but in light of what we're hearing, some of those answers may be false, and those are going to be false statements. And I think the other trend that's going on here, too, is not only are people covering up, but the president is so worried about this that he and Giuliani, they're really engaged in witness tampering. I mean, they're threatening Cohen. He has tried to support Roger Stone previously. I think it'd be interesting to see, I mean, what Trump wants is for Roger Stone to have changed that tattoo on his back from Nixon to Trump. And he's going to be sending messages like that.
I really wasn't prepared to hear that.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just want to put, the president has previously, it was some months ago, tweeted that Roger Stone has guts because Roger Stone has repeatedly said he will not turn on Trump. But this is Roger Stone just Wednesday on Fox News.
No matter how much pressure they put on me, no matter what they say, I will not bear false witness against Donald Trump. I will not do what Michael Cohen has done and make up lies to ease the pressure on myself. You know, my God and a great wife and my great family see me through this.
He says he will not bear false witness, and he suggests Michael Cohen is. We're not done with the Michael Cohen story yet, but on the stuff that Michael Cohen has said that directly relate to the president, whether it's the Southern District of New York or Robert Mueller, they've put corroborating evidence in the documents to make clear. We understand this guy has credibility questions. Here's the proof, much like they did in the Rick Gates trial.
Yeah.
When they used Rick Gates against Paul Manafort, I'm sorry.
And that is, they have a lot of evidence. Look, when you go through this indictment, they have all these text messages and emails from Roger Stone, and you really see the style of Roger Stone. And maybe perhaps this is why, the president loves him. In terms of, there was a witness that was going in.
Because he threatens to people?
Well, it's just, he is this kind of guy who he doesn't hold back, right? So there's this exchange where he has with a witness that's going before Congress who wants to tell the truth, and he's telling him to stonewall it. He says, plead the fifth, anything to save the plan. Then he invokes Richard Nixon. It's just incredible to think that Roger Stone would be dumb enough to send this kind of stuff in emails and in text, knowing full well that someone would be able to eventually read
Well, and then
You're
to
a
be
rat.
dumb
You're
enough
a rat,
to...
a stoolie. You backstab your friends, run your mouth. My lawyers are dying to rip you to shreds. Right.
Roger has also, he's been convinced that he has been under some kind of surveillance for a long time, essentially since the 2016 campaign. Now, this is something the special counsel won't comment on, but he's sending all of these messages at a time when he believes that the government is already reading his messages. So
And when he has to know that Mueller has access to everything right now. If he's going to go and lie to Congress and there's something that would verify the truth, he has to know that that would be the case.
We're a couple of years in. If you don't understand that whatever you think of Robert Mueller, he's meticulous and he has good forensic people working for him, then you're not paying attention. All right, you're watching the courthouse in Florida. We're waiting for Roger Stone to come out. We'll see if he'll speak to reporters about his indictment by the special counsel. We'll be right back.